a towering 6'5", 257-pound build, making him look like a god in the batter's box, and a powerful punishing swing to back it up. Frank Thomas was a literal conqueror of the MLB during his many years in the league. However, with a career path unlike most other players from his time, the journey to becoming the league icon is quite special. So let's check out the story of how Frank Thomas conquered the MLB. Just like any exceptional athlete, Frank Thomas's remarkable talent was evident from a young age. However, his path to baseball stardom was far from smooth, but that's what makes his success even more satisfying. The Big Baby. Frank Thomas Jr. was born on May 27, 1968 in Columbus, Georgia, as the fifth child to Charlie May and Frank Thomas Sr. His parents were a typical hardworking African-American couple from those 90s shows. Being born as the fifth of six kids meant Frank Jr. received lots of love and attention from his parents and older siblings. His massive physique has always been there though, even as a child. In fact, his family nicknamed him Big Baby because of how big he was. Although Frank's parents never pushed him into sports, they knew he had a natural talent and love for playing with the neighborhood game, especially baseball. As he grew up, it became clear that Frank had big dreams of becoming a pro baseball player, but it felt like a long shot for his working-class family. Despite their limited resources, Frank's parents encouraged him to play sports, seeing him spend most of his formative years at the local boys' club, exploring various sports like baseball, football, and basketball. At just 9 years old, Frank's determination and talent convinced his dad and local coaches that he could play football in the Pop Warner League, typically reserved for 12-year-olds. And you know what's even more wild? Despite being in a group of kids 3 years older, Frank was actually bigger than most of them. His impressive size and talent made opponents quake in their cleats, leading rival pitchers to intentionally walk him during Little League baseball games because they were too afraid to face him. While Frank was excelling in sports, something really sad happened in 1977. His little sister, Pamela, who was only 2 years old, passed away from leukemia. It was a heartbreaking moment for Frank and had a big impact on him, making him even more determined to succeed in baseball, not just for himself, but also for his family. Frank's talents resulted in him receiving a scholarship to the Brookstone School, a renowned college preparatory institution in his hometown. But after 3 years, he decided to go back to the local public school where he can make a bigger difference. As a sophomore at Columbus High School, he played a vital role as the cleanup hitter for the team. In his final year, he crushed it on the baseball team with a .440 batting average, dominated as an all-state tight end in football, and rocked it as a forward in basketball. This guy could do it all. Gridiron, basketball court, baseball diamond, anywhere, any day, he would turn up. It all seems to be going like every other baseball legend's story, only there was a big twist along the way. Despite Frank's incredible talent, impressive feats on the diamond, hard work, and determination, he was totally overlooked in the 1986 amateur draft. Yeah, you heard that right. Out of the 891 players signed, Thomas wasn't one of them. Tough break. But you know what they say. When the going gets tough, the tough gets going. And if anyone can be described as tough, it's definitely Frank Thomas. What was left is for him to get going, making it to the big leagues. Frank Thomas didn't let that minor setback stop him, but instead took it as a push to become even better. So in the same year he was snubbed in the draft, he accepted a scholarship to play football at Auburn University. The dream was for a baseball career, but he was willing to try the alternate route to arrive at his destination. And almost immediately, the Auburn baseball coach saw his potential and put him on the team. Thomas proved his skills by leading the Tigers in runs batted in as a freshman and showcased his talent throughout his college years. In his junior season, he had an impressive record with 19 home runs, 19 doubles, a batting average of .403, and a slugging percentage of .801. Scouts finally realized that this big Georgia native had something special to offer. And finally, the Chicago White Sox snagged Thomas Thomas as the 7th pick in the first round of the 1989 draft. Although he would have loved to play in Georgia, he was ecstatic to join the White Sox in Chicago. He started his minor league career with the Sarasota, Florida Class A White Sox and had an incredible year in 1990. He was named Minor League Player of the Year by Baseball America magazine, hitting .323 with 18 home runs, 71 runs batted in, and a league best 112 walks while playing for the Class A Birmingham Barons. What a season! And he was only getting started. After such a stunning year, the White Sox organization had to admit that they had a future star on their hands, so they called Thomas to the major leagues on August 2, 1990. The chance he had always dreamed of, and he grabbed it with both hands. Just over a year later, Thomas had solidified his spot as the everyday first baseman for Chicago by the spring of 1991. In his debut full season in Major League Baseball for the White Sox, he showcased his skills with a .318 batting average, 32 home runs, and 109 runs batted in. He even led the league in walks, 138, and on-base percentage, .453. Thomas shocked everyone by finishing third in the American League MVP race, right behind the seasoned pros Ripken Jr. and Fielder. Chicago fans couldn't resist calling him the Big Hurt because he was a towering force that left opposing pitchers in pain. Thomas was a major bargain with his $120,000 salary in 1991. The White Sox wasted no time recognizing his worth and rewarded him with a new 3-year contract worth $1 million, plus performance bonuses. Thomas didn't disappoint in 1992, leading the American League in extra base hits, on-base percentage, walks tied at 122, and doubles. He was on fire, and he went on and on and on. Find Frank Thomas's story exciting? Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more intriguing stories from the world of baseball. Frank Thomas's spotless career. Thomas had an incredible 1993 season, hitting .317 with 41 homers, 128 RBIs, 106 runs, and 112 walks. His performance was so impressive that he became one of only 5 players in history to achieve a 300-plus batting average, 20-plus home runs, and 100-plus RBIs, runs, and walks for 3 consecutive seasons. He deservedly won the AL MVP award and led the White Sox to their first AL West title in 10 years. The next year was no different. In the shortened 1994 season, Thomas kept on shining. He had an impressive .353 batting average with 38 homers and 101 RBIs. He even led the league in runs, walks, and slugging percentage. Thomas also managed to secure his second consecutive MVP award, becoming one of only 2 other first basemen in MLB history to have achieved this remarkable feat. Throughout his career, Thomas was an offensive powerhouse, consistently ranking near the top in various categories. In 1995, he hit .308 with 40 homers and 111 RBIs. The following year, he had a stellar season, batting .349 with 40 home runs and 134 RBIs. He even earned his 4th All-Star appearance and finished 8th in MVP voting. Thomas's consistent excellence and well-rounded offensive skills made him one of the most celebrated players in baseball history. One thing that truly sets Frank Thomas apart is his strong stance against drug use. In the early days of his career, Thomas admittedly used greenies to cope with the challenges of traveling. However, he made a conscious decision to stop using them once the collective bargaining agreement regulated teams' travel schedules. In fact, as early as 1995, Thomas was already advocating for drug testing in professional baseball in the 90s era, where everyone seemed to be using PEDs. Frank believed in doing things the right way, and when he hit his 500th career home run in 2007, he proudly stated, "It means a lot to me because I did it the right way." What a man. And just like he wanted, he did it the right way, all through his career and even into his retirement years. The blemishless closing chapters of a legend. It came as a shock when the White Sox decided to part ways with Frank in 2005 after his amazing 16-year run with the team. But after parting ways with the White Sox, Thomas landed a sweet deal with the Oakland Athletics in 2006. He did have a bit of a rocky start with a 178 batting average, but as the season went on, he became the go-to designated hitter for the team. By the end of the season, he was leading the Athletics in homers, RBIs, slugging percentage, and on-base percentage. And get this, even at that age, he went on a mind-blowing streak, hitting home runs in 6 consecutive games. On June 28, 2007, he reached an incredible milestone by smacking his 500th career home run. Only 21 players in MLB history have accomplished this feat. After taking a break in 2009, Thomas made a symbolic return to the White Sox by signing a contract for just 1 day on February 12, 2010, before officially hanging up his cleats. Thomas had a record that's one of a kind in MLB history. From 1991 to 1997, he had 7 consecutive seasons where he batted over 300 and also racked up at least 100 walks, 100 runs, 100 RBIs, and 20 home runs. The White Sox gave Thomas the ultimate tribute by unveiling a life-size bronze statue of him in the U.S. Cellular Field on July 31st, 2011. His first of 2 life-size statues, with another one at Auburn being put up more recently. And to top it off, Thomas got the recognition he truly deserved when he was elected to the National Baseball Hall of Fame in 2014. In his very first year of eligibility, he received a whopping 83.7% of the vote. He was inducted as a White Sox player on July 27, 2014, making history as the first player to be inducted with more games as a designated hitter than in a traditional fielding position. With his incredible talent, unwavering integrity, and numerous accomplishments, Thomas definitely left an undeniable mark in the baseball world. If you enjoyed this video about how Frank Thomas conquered the MLB world, check out the video on the screen now, or the one we posted below, because we're sure you'll like that one too. Let us know in the comments if there's another baseball player whose journey you'd like us to cover. See you there.